Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our reaction and review for the Pitt Season 2, Episode 12. I did not think we were going to be in this spot at this point in the season where it kind of feels like Robby can just go. His shift is done, and yet Duke is still there. Is he just hanging around because of Duke now?
Yeah, I mean, Duke seems to be being taken care of by other staff members there, and Robbie doesn't really need to stay anymore. So here's my tinfoil hat of
All right.
where we're going with this. So I've been saying all season that I feel like we've been building up to this like motorcycle ride that Robbie was going to be having. So let's say he is actually done a shift. He's been saying some goodbyes. Everything seems to be being taken care of with the Duke, that he actually decides to leave in this next episode coming up. But he ends up in the motorcycle crash that I think is coming, and he's going to come right back in because last season we had Pitt Fest, which was like a huge event that had the hospital like going double time, working like crazy to help people. Nothing like that has happened this season, which is totally fine. We don't want to repeat the same sauce over and over again. However, wouldn't it be interesting if we actually had Robbie leave but come back as a patient before this season ends? Because I thought that it would probably be a cliffhanger and we would come back next season and we would be in the thick of everything with Robbie. But because we still have a few episodes left, it could be now.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm going to flip-flop on things I've said in the past because over the past couple of videos, I was very much
That's
in
fine.
something really bad is going to happen to Duke, and that's going to be the thing that causes Robbie to rethink everything. But based on what we saw in this episode, it feels like Duke is going to be okay, that this is not going to be some sort of huge emergency for him. So now, yeah, I'm jumping on board with everything that you're saying here because it's just like with the amount of time we have left this season, it all just feels too easy. This is the classic, oh, it's quiet, too quiet situation where there's just a few episodes left and you guys are just going to peter it out. I understand you don't want to do another recreation of Pitt Fest, so maybe you don't have the stakes of here's so many patients. Maybe the stakes are here's this one patient who you all really, really care about.
Absolutely. And for me, I don't want to see a whole season of Robbie as a patient. I want to see a couple episodes of that and then get him through it. But I don't want to see a whole season of it. But this would be a really great way to bring everyone back together because everybody's been cranky pants through this whole shift. Everybody is really on edge with each other. But what better way to bring the crew together and have everybody working together for someone that they really care about and really respect to save their life?
Yeah, and it also creates, whether it's, a literal or metaphorical cliffhanger of what does Robbie do from here? Like, even if the season concludes where he does have that accident, he comes in as a patient, even if we know coming out of this season that he's going to be okay, there's still that question of how big of a time jump do we have? Is Robbie going to be able to go back and be a doctor? Because if this guy does not wear that you-know-what helmet, that's a bad head injury. That's the sort of thing that could keep you from ever being able to do your job again.
It's death.
Well, we are going to get into all of this, a whole lot more. Dana completely crashing out, and also why a lot of this crash out was completely valid. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be here with all things The Pitt as we dive further into this home stretch. But we've also got so much other great content coming here over the next few weeks. If you have that HBO Max subscription, you gotta watch Euphoria, right? Like, it's gonna be one of the biggest shows of the entire year. We are so excited to get into that. And also, The Testaments is premiering soon on Hulu as well as From on MGM Plus.
Absolutely. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And also check out our memberships. Right now, we are exclusively covering Monarch, Legacy of Monsters over there. We have The Boys. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. And we're going to be covering that for our members as well. And it's a great way to help support Matt and I here at the channel. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. We very, very much appreciate that. All right, we mentioned Dana's crash out here. Let's dive into it because here's just a brief summation of what transpired because we didn't see all of it happen on screen. But we had the Emma cliffhanger where Emma was obviously in danger. So in rushes Dana, to save the day. She obviously gets into, yes, very much applause for Dana. You are great. You are amazing.
Yeah, we
You
love Dana.
took care of this guy. You managed to knock him out, basically. You also had a little bit of a dose of, let's just say, something that you had on your person or you magically obtained on your person, however you want to describe it. But she made sure that Emma was okay. And I think the clear implication here is that ever since what happened to her in season 1, where she was in that really, really dire situation, she took
Yeah.
several weeks off, she decided that's never going to happen again. I'm going to make sure that I am always prepared in the event something happens to me or in the event something happens to one of my nurses, because she is very much that mama bear, incredibly protective of them at every single moment. This then brings us to Robby, where Robby knows Dana did something here when it comes to this guy. And I think
You mean he didn't just slip on the floor?
yeah, that's like the magic. 95% of the time it does happen, but you see somebody get injured and you're like, what happened to you? And they're like, I fell. It's almost always you're doing something silly or you did something you don't want the other person to know about. And like clearly Dana did something. Robby knows that Dana did something. I think deep down Robby is probably like, yeah, Dana, you go, Dana. I'm glad you did this. But I think the Robby who is in charge of the ER, he is very much in the, this is a problem, Dana, because this could happen. This could happen. It's a huge liability you're potentially setting up. We can't have you basically be Batman in the ER and coming in administering your own brand of like vigilante justice here.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation. I completely understand where Dana is coming from. I mean, Emma's been here a day. She's being attacked. I mean, for Dana, she's been there a long time. She has said that it's happened to pretty much every nurse on the staff at some point or another in their career. If she sees that this is happening, she wants to be able to protect herself in some sort of way, that it doesn't always just have to go through the channels. Now, should she be Batman out here, dispensing her own form of justice? I say, why not? Listen, Emma was in huge trouble. This could have ended up with Emma like really badly injured or dead. If there was a way for her to have to stop it, she had to stop it. But I understand why Robby on the other side of it is like, this is a huge liability. Yeah, he didn't just slip on the floor. Like, there are things that you did that you're not supposed to be doing. We do have to go through the channels, but at the same time, it's like, when you're in the moment, do the channels even really exist anymore?
Yeah.
And the answer for Dana is no, not again.
She's doing what she feels she has to do. And I think Robby's frustration, it's coming from a couple of different points here, where I think he would go to bat for Dana 100 times out of 100. Like, he even says that, but I think he's low-key insulted just about the idea that she's just straight up lying to him and he knows it's a lie.
I think that's really what it is. I think there's been enough lying going on where Robby, everything that happened with Langdon and that he was lying about what he was doing, that it can't also be Dana. Dana can't be lying to him. She's got to trust him. And I think he's starting to just feel like he's, kind of like the parent that the kids don't want to tell their secrets to, but they really should because they're in trouble. Yeah, and they need help.
It's all then connects further to the other big issue with Robby. And this is similar to what was going on with him and Mohan, or him and Langdon, or really him and almost any character this season, where he just wants the shift to be over so that he can go. He doesn't want to think about any problems. He doesn't want to deal with drama on the hospital. So there's just this selfish impulse on this day where if something bad happens, he is just thinking, why are you causing problems for me when I just want to get on my motorcycle and leave? And so I think now he's thinking about all of this with Dana from this selfish point of view, where, like, let's just assume the worst case scenario happened here, where this patient, despite what we found out about them, did magically remember everything that Dana did, tried to come to the hospital, take them for a lot of money. There's still no guarantee they would even win that, because there's a lot of different arguments about self-defense you could go out there, or throwing out, somebody who works under me is in trouble. Like, it's a very complicated situation, but I just don't think Robby is thinking that way, because he's just so inherently selfish this season.
Yeah, he is really pushing everybody away and everybody out if your name is not Whitaker. I mean, what he was doing to your girl Mohan, oh my goodness. even this episode where she's working, with an older couple, and Robbie's like, you know what? That's your pace. Why don't you go work in geriatrics? Is he pushing her out? I'm getting concerned. Listen, I lost Collins last season.
No.
We can lose anybody. That's what this show has taught me. Everybody can come and go.
I was so unbelievably condescending. Like, I was so mad. And it's not, he's acting as though working in geriatrics is a bad thing, where it's like, these are some of the most vulnerable people in the world. Like, being there for them at a time when other people are overlooking them, it's extremely important. And it's not an insult at all if Mohan decides to go that path. And I think that's...
No, but it's the way he said it. It's more your pace, because he's trying to imply that it's a slower pace.
Yeah, and that's why I think, provided that Mohan does not leave the hospital, which, please, Sean Wells, R. Scott Kimmel, Noah, everybody who works on the Pitt, don't do this to me, but provided she doesn't leave, one of two things are going to happen. She will go into geriatrics, but she'll go into it with this thinking of, oh, Robby, you don't think this is important, but I'm going to be the best darn geriatrics doctor you've ever seen, and I'm going to show you how important it is. Or she's going to go the other way, and she's just going to end up doing a completely different path because she's so annoyed at Robby for saying this. And, that's well and good, Mohan. You can pursue whatever you want, but I don't want you to pursue another path just despite Robby. Like, don't let his behavior get in your head, because he's annoying us all.
Spite. Yeah. No, I just wanted her to be in the right spot for her. And definitely this shift has shaken her a lot. Robby has gotten in her head multiple times now. She did really good work with these two. So for him to come in and kind of be like, yeah, this is your speed, the slower pace, it was just an insult on good work that she's done. Why does he keep taking it out on her? And I think it's just tinfoil hat, that it's really about himself, and that he sees all his own personal issues that happened last season. He had a breakdown at the hospital, and now he's seeing somebody, Mohan, who he cares about a lot, have a breakdown at the hospital, and he's taking out his own stuff on her of how he feels about himself.
Yeah, this is 100% projecting, and unfortunately for Mohan, she's just an easy target. And we want to sit here and say, Mohan, you have a great place in medicine, you have a great place at the hospital, and you also have a great place in the arms of Dr. Jack Abbott. Like, there's so much that is waiting for you here.
Is that a ship out in the
I think I sent it all aboard a little while ago. But no, I really hope that it all works out with Mohan. But yeah, with Robby, speaking of Batman, holy projection Batman, because we do have everything with Mohan, but also the real source, the other part of this whole Robby and Dana conflict, and Dana brings this up, is this idea of, you've got your own issues here, Robby. You're not acting like yourself. And so she really calls it out in a way that I think other characters want to, that he is doing that, Mohan, oh, I'm going to put all my problems onto you, with almost every other person in the hospital right now.
I love that Dana called it out, because Dana is someone that Robby does really, really respect her opinion. She is not somebody who is going to sugarcoat anything. She is going to tell you as it is, out of love, that she's not going to just be mean to be mean, but she's going to say just how it is, even if it's hard to hear, out of love, because she wants Robby to be okay.
And Robby just loves living in this state of denial. Like, I think he's lived in this state of denial over this motorcycle trip, that he's like, I'm going to get on this bike. I'm going to go to Alberta. I'm going to sing Kumbaya in the woods, and all these problems, it's going to wash over me. And I think now he's in denial about, if he doesn't leave, the reason why, where I think he's starting to be like, okay, if I don't leave, maybe it'll just be because of Duke. But I'm hoping if he doesn't go and everything does somehow end up okay and he doesn't get into an accident, he's realizing, oh, you know what? My problems aren't going to go away. My problems are only going to go away if I stay here and actually work on them. Like, that's the actual healthy thing to do here.
Yeah, he has said that he feels that if he doesn't leave tonight, and he doesn't leave right now, that he is not going to leave at all. That this is the push. It has to be tonight. Okay, let's talk about this Santos situation, because it was very surprising to me to see her going into that drawer and deciding to take that scalpel, especially after everything that happened with Langdon, with him taking the medication from the hospital and her calling that out. Now, before everybody's in the comments being like, not the same thing, No, it is not the same thing. It is on very different levels. One of them is, a crime. You're taking medication from a hospital. The other is taking paper clips from the hospital. However, with what she took from the hospital, because we know about her past, we saw the scars on her leg a few episodes ago. With everything that is piling up on Santos, the way that it is throughout this whole episode, we kind of have an idea of where she is going by taking that scalpel. But the thing that surprised me about it
Mhm.
was that she took it from the hospital, that she didn't decide to get something else from somewhere else that wasn't at work.
It's really difficult to watch. It's difficult to talk about. It's a really, really complicated scene. And yeah, it is very different than what happened with Langdon, but it's
Yes.
also still just emblematic of the fact that if you are spiraling and if you are struggling with something, even if you're surrounded by people who are medical professionals who are able to help you for X, Y, and Z reason, that doesn't mean you know how to talk about it or how to address it. And even somebody with Santos, you're with somebody in Garcia who is not opening up and not
Right.
communicating with you. And so she doesn't even feel like she's getting that particular outlet either. I mean, with this particular situation, I just hope Santos figures something out because it's just the longer that it festers, and I hate saying this, but it's just unfortunately the worse I feel like it's going to get.
It's also interesting because things have really been piling on Santos this season. Some of them are her own fault, some of
Yeah,
them are other things that are out of her control, and some of it is just work stuff like the charting kind of
yeah,
just piling up on her and piling up on her to get to this point. But her learning that Whitaker's basically going to be going and living at Robbie's house for a few months, I mean, he really tried to call that out when he realized that she just didn't want him to leave, that she has enjoyed living with him, even though, he's eating all her avocados as soon as they ripen, which is straight to jail move in my house. You don't eat my avocados. But the fact that he's calling it out even in a playful way to basically be like, I also like living with you.
yeah,
I think we are building a really good friendship. I think things are good between us.
yeah.
For that to be something that triggered her to then go and do this makes total sense. Total sense that you've got somebody like Whitaker who really is like, we're okay. We are friends. I am happy to stay living with you because I enjoy you. I enjoy our friendship. I like what we're building here. You just have to open up and say that you want me to stay. And she cannot do it.
Yeah, it's a real. I feel like Santos eventually will get there to 10%. I don't know if it's going to be this season. It might be a season 3 thing. I think there's some.
Sometimes people don't make it to that point, but I do hope you're right.
Yeah, I think she needs to obviously open up to somebody because when you don't,
Yeah.
it leads to self destructive behavior. It leads to things that could get you in trouble. Like, one of
Or
the
hurt.
weird lessons this season is just that despite these people all being in these elevated positions as doctors, they just can't communicate with each other. Like, they do not have these interpersonal skills. And sometimes it leads to great conflict. Sometimes it leads to Santos not being able to open up. Sometimes it just leads to even more at almost lighthearted moments. Like this discussion that happens with Cassie and Langdon in this episode, where, Langdon wants to be there for her who's going through all this, but I think Langdon also wants someone to be there for him with everything that's going on. And so he asked for this hug, and I think he just wants somebody to hug him, but he doesn't know how to say it.
Well, that's the thing, is that this season is really about everybody bottling things up. And then you've got Langdon in here who doesn't want to bottle things up. I still think he's hiding what's going on with his marriage. But
Mhm.
I think in general, he is, trying to make amends and he is trying to do the right thing. It's only one shift. He's only been there for so many hours at this point. There's only so much he can do in that time in between seeing different patients and stuff like that. But most everybody else is bottling everything up. Mel is, Dr. Al is, Santos is, Robbie is. Mohan didn't, but then was told to bottle it
Yeah.
up. It's really a place where it's not conducive to anybody opening up to each other. And I think if maybe they found a way to be able to do that, it might pass a little bit faster than what is happening,
Yeah.
instead of just like, oh, you have this horrible things that are happening to you outside of work. Well, you can't think about it here for the next 12 hours. It's like, what?
Yeah, that doesn't work in life. It just doesn't.
No,
I understand you have to focus on the patients
of
and all of that,
course.
but you can't just turn that part of your brain off. And opening up to
No.
other people is hard. I'm terrible at it. I do a very, very bad job, but
Oh God, I'm so bad at it.
yeah, but it's a situation where you're working around these people all the time. Nobody is going to understand what you're going through more than these other people. And yeah,
It's true.
occasionally you do run into people like Santos, like Ogilvy, who will be a little bit judgy, but there are also people here who will try to be empathetic. You just kind of have to know when to approach them, how to approach them. But then some of those things, like the wounds can start to heal, even if it's just a little bit.
Those wounds are going to be much more open now that Dr. Al knows what Langdon did. Because,
Yes.
oh my goodness, is she ever just coming at him and being hard on him over and over and over again now?
Yeah, and I think this is probably what Langdon was really worried about to begin with when it comes to this idea of how much do I say about why I was away, and also when do I decide to say it? Because there is a lot of judgment that comes along with these sort of
Yes.
things. And yeah, Langdon may be clean now. He's gone through the program, but this is something he's going to have to battle. And ultimately, yeah, I'm sure there's a part of him that probably just never wanted to say anything to certain people so he could just let his work speak for itself. But I think it's probably unrealistic that no one is going to find out about it. I think the problem is he just didn't want everybody to find out about it on his first day back. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Well, also, I think it would have been a better way for Dr. Al to find out about it, actually, with Langdon sitting down with her and
Yeah.
saying, this is what happened. These were the consequences of what happened. This is what I'm doing to make sure that this
Yeah.
doesn't happen again. She's only kind of catching little bits of what happened and not an entire picture. And so I understand why she's at this point, but she's also not asking the right questions to get the whole story. You're going to be in charge.
Yeah.
You need the whole story. You can't have part of a picture.
No, and this is why I'm going to say to Dr. Al the same thing I said to Santos earlier, that what do you guys want Langdon to do in the midst of one of the busiest days you guys have had on a holiday weekend? He's supposed to just get you all into the lounge, have a sit down and be like, yeah, guys, so here's every single thing that happened. Here's all the individual work. There's just no real time.
Yeah, and I also don't think that that's really that great of work on Langdon's part. Just get everybody in a room, be like, blanket statement, guys. This
Yeah.
is what I did, and this is what I'm doing. It doesn't feel very personal. It doesn't
No.
feel like he's actually taking real responsibility. Just kind of giving a blanket. This is what happened. This is what I did. See you guys tomorrow. Like, put the work in to each individual that was affected by this and the people that need to know as well first, and then you can move into the rest of the staff. It's not all at once.
So many people this
It's a
season.
process.
Yeah, they just want everything done on their terms. And the people who aren't acting that way, yeah, like you said, they're facing the punishment as a result of it. And that's why people like Mohan and Mel, like, I hope they do find a way to get out of this season still in one piece. Maybe
Yeah.
they come together and they're able to do that. But yeah, as we come out of this episode, it is very, very strange because, yeah, Robbie's shift is winding down. I think we can already imagine some other people are starting to wind down.
Right.
We've already got Joy, who's just pieced out on the entire institution at this point.
Yo, I love that about Joy so much. Okay, so I used to work in funeral service.
Mhm.
I'm a licensed funeral director. In Canada, as a licensed funeral director, you are basically on call all the time, all day, all night, 2 o'clock in the morning, unless you put boundaries. And there was this one place I was working where there was a funeral director there named Natasha that on her first day, she was like, you have me for the full hours that I'm here. I'm working a 10-hour shift. You have me for those 10 hours. After that, you don't have me anymore. I am not going to be on call 24 hours because that was just the expectation in funeral service, that you're always working late. You're always working till the middle of the night. You're always getting calls in the middle of the night for body removal or to come in or to do whatever it is. Oh, or the flowers ordered. Oh, was the priest called? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But not Natasha. She was just like, No. Well, I'm here for these 8 hours today. You have my full attention. And once I'm at home, you do not have my attention anymore. That's for my husband and my family. And she held strong to that exactly the way that Joy laid it out. When I'm here, you have me. When I'm not, my shift is over. This is how I don't burn out. And funeral directors also burn out.
Joy has won me over. I will say that. I do not need her
I
back.
really like that.
I don't need her back as an ER doctor, but I hope she does come back because she wants to get into pathology, right? Like, I do
Right.
think there is a place for her in the hospital on this show. And yeah, just that one statement, she differentiated herself from almost every other character on this show. They need people who stand out so that they all just don't get lost. I spent episodes thinking that Ogilvy was just like a pseudo-biological twin of Whitaker.
No, and it really made sense then of why she's able to hold herself in a different way where everybody else is imploding and bottling everything up and just like falling apart. Joy is making sure that she has balance. While I'm at work, you have me. While I'm at home, you don't have me anymore. My shift is over at this time, I'm leaving. There's a reason why a night shift is coming in. It's so that the day shift can go home, go home.
I will also say Emma has surprised me a lot. Early on this
Yeah.
season, I really thought,
She's
okay,
just gonna wash out.
yeah, she's from like a small town, middle of nowhere, totally unused to being in the big city in this environment. I mean, after what happened to her here, like, I feel like so many people would just walk out the door and no, she's still there. She wants to see it through.
I'm rooting for you, Emma.
Emma, we are all rooting for you. We are rooting for a really, really great drama in these final
Yep.
episodes, even if that means, unfortunately, we have to root for something terrible to happen to Dr. Robbie in the process.
I just think that it could be coming up. It could be. If it's not, it's not. And they've done a really good job sort of just threading that needle throughout the season with the motorcycle that something could be coming up. I mean, they have really been threading it. So let it pay off.
You have convinced me. But okay, let us know. What do you guys think about this episode? Give us your predictions for these final few. Hit that subscribe button. You can support us further by joining our membership. So much great stuff coming there. Thank you so much.
Thank
and we will
you.
see you here next time.